Hi everyone, how are you today? I am Ankita Ochani, Assistant Professor in Suresh Gyan Vihar University Management Department. So, what I am going to talk about today is how to impress people. Well, all of us want to impress people, but sometimes it happens that we are able to impress, and sometimes it happens that the other person doesn't take interest in us. So I am going to talk about 5 tips in which are very important for you to implement while you're talking to someone. So my first tip is smile. Whenever you meet someone, give a beautiful smile, because smile is a curve which sets everything straight. So smile is very important when you look at a person with the very first time, even when you're not talking. It's a non-verbal communication, the first communication from our body. So if we smile someone, and the smile should not be plastic, it should be very very natural, a very big broad smile. So when you smile at someone, so the other person will also smile at you, and the chances are more that the other person will be interested in talking to you. So that was my first tip, that was smile. So let's come to the second tip. Second tip is that whenever you meet somebody and you want to impress the other person, so you have to be interested in what they are saying. We have to be a good listener. A lot of times it happens that whenever we meet somebody, we keep speaking what we want to speak, but we don't listen to the other person. But listening is very important, and there is a very thin line between listening and hearing. So when you are listening to somebody, so show a lot of interest in what they are talking about, with your body language. When you're nodding your head and you're saying, yeah, okay, really, it happened like that. So it's very important that you give that kind of response to that person, so the other person would like to talk to you to little further. So the second tip is that be genuinely interested in what the other person has to say. And now we go to the third tip. My third tip is, whenever you're talking to somebody, you talk as per their interest. If you really want to impress somebody, you need to understand the personality of the other person. For example, if you're talking to your colleague, or if you're talking to your co-worker, you can talk about work, but in the way that they want. If you're talking to somebody who's elder than you, somebody who's old age, so you can talk about their health, and if they are feeling fine, and you can talk about some old memories. If you're talking to someone, person of a repute, you can talk about his profile, that what he do and how is he doing his work. And you have to identify such topics in which the other person is interested. Don't pick up some boring topics. If the other person is interested in politics, then talk about politics. But if you know that the other person is not interested in politics, then let's not talk about politics. Let's talk about cricket, or let's talk about Bollywood, or let's talk about some spiritual matter. You have to identify that. So your talk should be very spicy, and your talk should be according to the other person. Okay. And my very third tip is maintain eye contact. We have all these gadgets with us, we have mobile phones and everything, so they keep ringing our WhatsApp and our Facebook notifications. And a lot of time it happens that we're talking to somebody, but we're checking our phone, or we're taking the call, or we're looking here and there, so the other person gets disinterested in you. So the third tip is that you have to maintain the eye contact with the other person, and it has to be maintained throughout the conversation. The moment you take your eyes away from the other person, and that very moment he or she will be disinterested in talking to you. So the third tip is maintain eye contact. Now my fifth and last tip is that You start the conversation with smile, and you end the conversation also with smile. Like when we are, we are at the verge of closing the conversation. So at that particular time, it is very important that how we are closing it, even if we are on phone or if we are face to face. So we have to say, goodbye and take care, and let's meet next time, or make some plan for the another meeting. And the whole conversation should end in a proper manner and a very bright smile, like how we started the conversation. So I have told you now these 5 tips. The first tip is start the conversation with a smile. The second tip is to be interested, to be genuinely interested in the other person. The third tip is that select the topic that the other person wants to discuss, And the fourth tip is maintain eye contact throughout the conversation. And the fifth and last tip is end the conversation also on a positive note and with a very bright smile. So that was all about what I wanted to talk about today, and I'll meet you in next YouTube video of mine. Thank you so much. Bye.